meeting, we decided that the NEC of the ANC should also be given the report of Parliament, the report that comes from the panel. However, the NEC in its wisdom today decided that they would like that report to be given to the officials of the ANC first. The officials must process it, convene an NWC. Once the NWC is done, we will convene the NEC, and we should do this before the 6th of December. So between tomorrow and Sunday, we will do all that. And the meeting felt, let's not discuss today. Let's adjourn to allow the officials to meet NWC and then come back. So we'll come back to the NEC before the 6th.
Okay, that's fine. So what we'll do is that we'll open for a round of questions in a much more organized manner so the TG can clarify. Yeah. Let's move.
Thank you so much, Treasurer. It's Govan Whittles from Newsroom Africa. Did the President indicate his intention to resign from his position as head of state? And is that intention something that would have been discussed here today?
Okay, let's take all the questions so that, because sometimes they are similar questions. Yes?
The ANC now having this process unfold. Are you not concerned that the country is looking at you and feeling that you're delaying an urgent matter and not addressing it as quickly as the country would like it to be resolved? Thank you.
Siphamani Takoke from ENCA. Why did the President not attend the meeting today? But didn't you foresee that in terms of your own protocol, the officials must get the report first? Yeah. It goes to the NWC and the NEC. Why did you rush to call the special NEC meeting?
Okay, is that all? Are those all the questions? We're just making sure.
Let's answer those first. Why did we rush? We regard this as an urgent matter. As you know, that Parliament will sit on the 6th. So it was important that the NEC is not left behind. But the NEC in its wisdom decided that they want the matter to be processed first by the officials, then NWC, and brought back to them. They do understand the agency, so that's why we are saying before the 6th. In fact, between now and Sunday, the NEC would have met again to look at what the officials are recommending. You said, why did the President, what was your question again?
Did he indicate his intention to resign?
His intention to resign. No, the President is not in the meeting. He's busy consulting. And so as far as we are concerned, the issue of the President putting his intention to resign or not did not arise. It's only now that the officials are going to be meeting with him, probably by tomorrow, if he's back from Cape Town. Last question?
Yes, there was a question.
Outside is saying, don't we see that this matter is urgent in the country? The country is waiting. Indeed, we do. That's why we want to deal with it properly. We don't want to miss any step. That's why the NEC has now said to the officials, out of this meeting, go and meet as officials, get that report from Parliament, let them give all the details to you, call the NWC and call us back before Monday.
Okay. No, can I take some take Lizega, the ones who did not raise, and then from there I'll take follow-ups.
Mr. Masotile.
Yes, and then Tebo.
Thank you very much. Mr. Masotile, our question is very short, sweet, and precise.
Yeah.
Why was the President of the ANC not in this NEC meeting today?
He's still consulting.
Okay. From the Mail and Guardian, sir. Just in terms of the officials meeting, Mr. Gwede Mantashe did say that you had met on Wednesday. What happened in that meeting? Why wasn't this discussed?
There was no meeting on Wednesday. The officials met on Monday, and on Monday we only got a briefing from the Chief Whip and the Speaker about the report. We said it's fine. We will then get it to go to the NEC so that the NEC can also get that report. But the NEC said no, they would like the officials, all of them, to meet to deal with the report and then take it to the NWC and bring it back to them.
Okay, CD and Gavin.
along those lines, around the meeting with the officials, should that not have been the first port of call? What is your general reaction as a member of the officials, hearing that he's meeting with other people all along, but seemingly that wasn't the first port of call as a diplomat of the ANC to government, then having meetings outside of maybe this particular structure that he's a part of?
You're saying that I heard that he's meeting with other people?
I said we heard, so I'm asking.
Oh, you heard. Well, I don't know about those meetings.
Treasury General,
meet the president,
it's Govan Whittles from Newsroom Africa again. Has the president consulted with the ANC at all since the panel report came out?
Yes, indeed, he has.
In which forum?
Remember, in the last NEC, the president is the one who was presenting.
Since this panel report has come out?
Or no, since the panel report, we have not met. That's why the NEC is saying, let's go and meet with him.
Let's try and have a structure to his take.
Yeah,
You come in.
we have not met, yeah.
When Samuel is questioning, asked why the president was not here, you said he's still consulting. What does that mean? Who is he consulting?
Well, the president
what is he
has said in the
consulting on?
media already he's going to be consulting broadly.
About what?
But I don't know the details of those consultations.
Who are those people he's consulting?
I don't know.
Mr. Mashatile Kopanakumbi from Reuters.
Okay,
Can you
this
give
is
us
the
a
last
sense
question.
of what was the mood inside this NEC meeting? Do you feel like most NEC members want him to step aside now or to follow due process?
No, the mood was that there is a sense of urgency that we should resolve these issues so that we can go on with the responsibilities of running the country.
Mr. Mashatile, are you concerned he started his consultations outside of the ANC forum? Are you concerned he started his consultations outside of the ANC?
No, remember the president is also the president of the republic. And there are matters that he will, of necessity, deal with it at that level. But we will meet with him as the ANC. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, no, thank you very much.
That's the Treasurer General of the ANC.
That is the Treasurer General of the African National Congress, Mr. Paul Mashatile there. As we move across with my colleague, Kwazi Manzi, as we go across to do a quick doorstop somewhere, please just bear with us for a moment.
No press card, no access.
Sorry, just mind. That is the Treasurer General of the ANC, basically speaking of how they don't know who as yet the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, is consulting on this. There's Nomvula Makonya, the ANC member. Did your meeting collapse? It adjourned. Are you ready for it to be the DSG? Nomvula Mukonyane, they're saying she must help these men. Are they collapsing your party? That is ANC member there, Nomvula Mukonyane. We have got, Baba, we've got a pre-arranged agreement with Zamani Sol that side of, and okay, the ANC security are not allowing us to go through to the other side. We had arranged some ANC NEC members to speak to. They were allegedly saying that they were bulldozed into agreeing into postponing this specific meeting of the NEC. As you can see, some of the NEC members there of the ANC leaving this particular meeting of the ANC here because of the matters pertaining by the African National Congress, President of the African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa of the ANC. They are saying that his matters are relating to Phala Phala and that this meeting was adjourned. We are told by some of our sources that this meeting, they did not agree to any of the issues being raised by the officials of the ANC, and they were bulldozed into agreeing into some of the issues that are being raised of postponing this particular meeting for the ANC officials to first convene each other and then to hold a special NWC, from there hold a special NEC meeting of the African National Congress. All of those issues being ventilated by the NEC. As you can see, some NEC members there, Zamani Sol, Ronald Lamula, can also see David Mahlobo as well, and the Mpumalanga provincial chairperson, Mandla Ndlovu. They're still huddled, and Fikile Mbalula, whom are the supporters of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is not in this meeting of the NEC. And his issues are pertaining that he did not want NEC members to feel intimidated by him being present in the NEC of the African National Congress, as they would not be able to ventilate their issues properly when it comes to their views of how the issues pertaining to the Section 89 report of the Phala Phala report of President Cyril Ramaphosa's farm and the over $580,000 that were stolen at the president's farm. But just to read a text by one of our sources in the NEC, and you'd have to excuse the language that is used. Quote, "We were bulldozed into agreeing to nonsense. The TG, the national chair, contradicted one another." End of quote. That is from one of our sources. So essentially, the NEC meeting of the ANC did not collapse. What essentially transpired is that they were contradicting one another and did not agree on any of the issues that were being raised in the meeting, and thus what our sources saying that the TG, the national chair, contradict one another. The president of the ANC is not present. He is, however, in Gauteng. He is at his Hyde Park residence. He is around the vicinity of the province, but did not come to this venue. Those close to him are saying that he did not want to intimidate any of the NEC members here, and it is not within his character to sit and listen to people speak negatively about him. And he would rather make people to be free to engage, and thus the ANC would come out with a united voice pertaining to these issues of Phala Phala and the future of the ANC president. Paul Mashatile, the Treasurer General, saying that the officials would meet on an urgent basis, convene an NWC, and then by Monday a special NEC would be convened. So it's either we would be coming back here to the Nasrec Expo Center on Sunday, or we will come back on Monday before Parliament debates this report on the 6th, which is next week, Tuesday.
So Samkela, of course, we've been listening to that interview. Do you get a sense then that, just following what Paul Mashatile was saying as the Treasurer General, that a decision has been taken to get the report from Parliament, then have the officials meet, then have the NWC sit with the report, and then have this meeting reconvene? Talk to us about the timelines. Do you have an indication that they will meet these timelines? I mean, we know that this party is going into a national conference in 2 weeks or so.
To put it bluntly and frankly, the ANC is disorganized, is disorientated when it comes to this issue. You can't call a special NEC meeting to deliberate on a report you've not even yet received. That speaks of an organization that is totally in disarray, totally disorganized, does not know what they are doing when it comes to this urgent matter of the Phala Phala report of Section 89 independent panel in Parliament. It speaks to how they have not thoroughly processed this report. Paul Mashatile is saying that they met briefly as the top six. They themselves have not even thoroughly engaged this particular report as the top leadership of the ANC, which speaks volumes about what former President Thabo Mbeki, former President of the Republic, said, that the ANC should questions whether the ANC is ready, and what happens if the high panel report finds that the ANC president and the head of state has some serious questions and some serious answers to answer when it comes to this particular question. While former President Mbeki is seemingly answered today, his organization, the NEC, is in total disarray. They don't know how to deal with this particular matter. Hence, they call an urgent ANC NEC meeting only to adjourn it 30 minutes later after the NEC meeting has spoken. We are now going to try and speak to Thandi Mahambehlala, who is an ANC NEC member. Mahambehlala, what transpired here in your meeting?
The meeting did not even start because the meeting itself started in a wrong footing. We had a national chairperson speaking to you guys, preempting the outcome of the meeting, and then we got to the meeting, and then many issues were raised about the report itself, which was not processed by the officials and NWC of the ANC, and also the report itself that was going to be discussed in the absence of the president, who is a deployee of the ANC. So there were many mixed feelings. The contradictions between the TG and the national chair in addressing the issue of the absence of the president itself caused contradictions. So it created this situation of us not sitting or concluding or even start the meeting itself.
So essentially you felt disrespected by the absence of the ANC president as some NEC members in this meeting?
A deployee of the ANC has to come so that every one of us is given an opportunity to give counsel where it's needed, to raise what we need to raise. If we are to criticize, we criticize constructively in the presence of the deployee of the ANC, who is the state president of this country, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa. But unfortunately, he was not in the meeting. And with all the different reports that were tabled by both the national chairperson and the TG on the account of why the president is not present in the meeting, created a problem.
So organizationally, this report was not even processed by the organization. So you are disorganized when it comes to dealing with Phala Phala, just like you are disorganized in dealing with Nkandla.
Perhaps you would say we are disorganized, but there are certain processes and procedures that we are following as an organization. A report, before it comes to the National Executive Committee, it is supposed to be processed by the officials. From the officials, it goes to the National Working Committee and then comes to the National Executive Committee. But this particular report came to the National Executive Committee without those steps, and we are where we are today.
But this matter is on an urgent basis. It's being deliberated upon next week, Tuesday, in Parliament. You are a member of Parliament. How will the ANC know what to do when you don't deliberate this matter now and finalize it so that you can prepare for Monday, so that your leadership can come and address the ANC caucus as per norm when you've got a contentious issue?
We are in a dilemma. We are in a dilemma. We are hoping that the leadership will prevail and come to Parliament and give us marching orders on this issue. But I don't know how, because we have not deliberated on the report ourselves as the National Executive Committee. As for parliamentarians, we are hoping that they will get marching orders from the leadership as a norm. If that does not happen, we don't know what will transpire on Tuesday, because this meeting was supposed to also give guide to what should happen, and members of Parliament, what should they do in an event where there's a division which is called in that, and how we are supposed to move forward in ensuring that we implement that which is going to be, or was supposedly to be, a decision of the ANC on this particular matter.
Are these men who are leading this party dividing it, fracturing it, and taking it to the ground?
Nomvula once raised a point that we are weak as this National Executive Committee. Perhaps today she was vindicated.
Thank you very much. Thandi Mahambe-Hlala, ANC NEC member. Unfortunately, these gentlemen there across us are seemingly blocking us from going across to speak to Zamani Saul. Can we go through, gentlemen? Well, that is the ANC's security here and members of the South African Police Service whom are protecting heads of state, essentially saying we can't go through to the other side. We're meant to speak to Zamani Saul, the Northern Cape ANC provincial chairperson.
Well, Samkele, I must say that, just following that conversation that you've just had with Thandi Mahambe-Hlala, she essentially agreeing with you. In fact, stopping short to say that the ANC is in a crisis. And I mean, this is quite concerning. And I know why you want to speak to Zamani Saul. I think it's important because we have heard that he's spoken to the president. He's one of those that he confided in fact, in terms of should he resign or not in the party. But unpack what Thandi said to you, also agreeing with Nomvula Makonyane, saying this particular ANC NEC is weak.
Essentially, ANC leaders are agreeing that the party is in its weakest state since the dawn of democracy. We may have to cut this particular broadcast due to battery challenges, but you can see that the ANC is fraught with divisions, fractured, highly divided, and you can't get a sense of where this organization is going. As you can see, the Secretary General hopeful, Figile Vuta Mbalula there, who is looking at going to Luthuli House to try and fix this mess that is the governing party, since it has not had a permanent people in the SGO since the untimely demise of Jesse Duarte, since the suspension of Ace Magashule. When Luthuli House is not in order, it automatically means the governing party in its entirety would be disorientated, fractured, and not know where it's truly going. Hence, you see the various proposals now to have 2 Deputy Secretary Generals of the ANC being elected and constituted in this upcoming National Conference of the ANC. That proposal being brought by Eastern Cape and all other provinces such as Limpopo as well. It speaks to the high divisions within the governing party, the ANC.